You know what, guys? I honestly just had it with the Cincinnati Bengals, but I decided to make a preview just because it's just going to get some stuff off my chest. And this is less of a preview, more about a freaking tirade about the team that we're playing this week and just what I have to say about them and how they're playing. They're 4-1. You know, they got obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks of the generation. I'll get into all that. And I'll get into Joe Flacco last week. I wanted to record a video, but the streaming site was down and we had some issues. So be it. You know, I honestly just don't know where to start, but I will say this is an AFC North football preview, part 2, between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, blah, 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 blah. You guys know what Thursday Night Football is on. I don't have to tell you. But this is one that I'm just going to dive deeper into because it's less about the game. It's more about just like a tyrant and something that I want to get off my chest about my team and also the team we're playing, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Enemy number 1 in Cincinnati, not even close. This team has just given us a lot of heartaches over the years, and you know, I have a lot to say about it. I will get into every single thing I want to say, and you can book it. You know, I have a lot of stuff I wanted to write home about. This is a lot of stuff that I am going to tell you right now. I am going to get into everything that I wanted to talk about, every single thing. So let's dive into it, guys. So Joe Flacco last week, nothing to write home about. I mean, nothing to, you know, like be like, oh my God, did you see Joe Flacco last week? OMG, he looked solid, honestly. It was shaky to start. We had 0 points in the first half. We had 9 first half points in the last 4 games. Inexcusable, by the way, if you want to win football games, which clearly the Bengals do or don't. I don't know. But you know, the Bengals, you know, they did keep it, I guess, semi-competitive, you know, in the second half, but it was just too little, too late for the Bengals. So yeah, honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not looking good for the Bengals. If they lose this game, we have to have serious conversations about this organization and Zach Taylor and everything. But this is a huge game, and I hope that they're aware because this talk about, you know, everybody in town, you know, we're just going to get through the season, we're gonna figure it out, right the ship. That's not going to last. You know, I can tell you there should be, and I'm hoping and expecting that there will be some sort of change because you can't keep losing games like 5 in a row, 6 in a row, and then expect it to get better all of a sudden. It's not going to. It's not gotten better over the last 2 years. It never will get better unless there's some sort of change. Period, point blank. We can finish the season 9-8 all we want. We can finish 7-10, 5-12. It's not going to change. Zach Taylor is the definition of insanity. The Bengals are the definition of insanity. Their organization does the same thing, and it's just not fair to us fans. It's not fair. We deserve better. Period, point blank, end of story. The fans in Cincinnati deserve better, and we're not going to get it because our organization really doesn't want to make the change. And I hope that they do. And I'm hoping the Brian Callahan firing in Tennessee is a strong signal that Zach Taylor is on his way out. I really, really hope that. But Joe Flacco, props to him. He looked good. But now he's got a tougher challenge against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, by the way, are 4-1. And they're having a stellar year so far. Of course, you know, Rodgers is really setting into that offense. They had a stellar game last week on offense. They've been rolling, honestly. They won the first game of the season, and then I think they lost to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. So they look good, but you know, honestly, that's something that you know. One thing I'm gonna say this about us. It bothers me that we're second to these guys because nobody in the AFC North is doing anything. I feel like this is a prime opportunity, even with Joe Burrow out. This is a prime opportunity to regain some sort of momentum in the AFC North. I mean, the Ravens look like crap without Lamar. The Browns are abysmal, and they're probably going to win this week against Miami. That's my prediction. So maybe they can win some games. Their defense is very solid, but they look abysmal. Like, this is a chance for us to right the ship. And that's why it frustrates me because I just don't think they're going to take advantage of it. They win this week, a mini bye, handing the Steelers an L. What better is that? But unfortunately, our idiot head coach and just idiot like coaching staff, if you want to call it that, I don't think they understand, and I just don't think they're going to do what's necessary to win this game. And I freaking hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this team, honestly, will just do nothing but bow down to them. I can guarantee you 4-1 versus 2-4. Steelers, the Bengals, big bro, will come into our house. Not only, I will be in attendance Thursday. Unfortunately for me, I will be in attendance Thursday, and I'll have to see those yellow towels in our stadium. And I hope to God Bengals fans do not sell tickets to the yellow towels. Those ugly freaking yellow towels. That's what this fan base is. They are, most of them, with the exception of a few on my channel who are awesome, by the way. Most of that fan base, they wave towels obnoxiously all the time, and they get to, they can say whatever they want. I see Steeler fans all the time. They're talking about, oh, through thick and thin, I'm going to support this team. Did you ever have a losing season since, 2003 or whatever it is? It's a lot easier to make claims like, oh, through thick and thin, I'm going to be with this team no matter what and whatnot. I want to see, similar to the St. Louis Cardinals, who I freaking can't stand either, by the way. They've missed the playoffs 3 straight years. Look at their fans right now. They can't even fill out that stadium, even, in like a couple home games. And they self-proclaim themselves the best fans in baseball. And at least Steeler fans, I will give them this. They do not self-proclaim themselves best fan of football, and they don't go out and say, oh, we're America's team. That's what the Dallas Cowboys do. But Steeler fans ain't much better. They talk about like, oh, they're like loyal and everything. And they're like, oh, you guys are fake fans, fair weather. Why do you boo your team and whatnot? I saw a Steeler fan in a comment section one time talking about, man, I could never imagine myself booing the Steelers. I could never imagine that. First of all, Steeler fans do boo, by the way. There's no denying it. They do boo. I've heard them boo. Did you see them when Matt Canada was there? They definitely do boo their own team. So first of all, your facts are wrong. Second of all, if you had how many Super Bowls they have? Like 5, 6? And they've been to 8 or 9. If you had that level of success, you've won 2 in the last 20 years. You haven't won a playoff game in 9 years. That's like an atrocity to you guys. And you know what? One thing I will say, I'm not gonna fault them for complaining, because I respect fans that have a high standard for their team. They're not always coddling their team, and that's, some Steeler fans do, some don't. For them, making the playoffs is their Super Bowl. And then you can talk about, oh, but your team doesn't have a Super Bowl. Why are you talking about Super Bowls? I have expectations for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I don't care if they're expected to be 5-12, 12-5, 13-4, 4-13. I expect a Super Bowl win. I root for them to win a Super Bowl every year, especially since 2021, where we made the Super Bowl and we lost. Do I hold that Super Bowl appearance special? Of course, because that was the first time they went to Super Bowl in my life. But does that mean I'm not pulling for them to go all the way and win it this time? Of course not. I pull for them to win every single year. I'm not one of those guys that are going to sit here and tell you, oh, you know what? If we make the playoffs, it's a great season. Will I appreciate the season? Absolutely. Like the Reds, they make the playoffs. It's great, but I want a World Series eventually. So we can talk about that all the time, but Steeler fans, they don't understand that because they've never been through crap. So they can make claims all they want. Oh, we're loyal. We're the most loyal fan base in all of sports and whatnot. I really just want to see how they would handle just a couple losing seasons. Just how, even just like a tanking season. I freaking can't stand this fan base. I cannot. Not at all. And this franchise, they make claims that, okay, this team is dirty. This team is this. This team is that. They are the most dirty team in the league. And I'm not going to get into that. You can debate with me all you want, Steeler fans. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just telling you what I think. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, so I can't stand your team. So I'm going to go rip them a new one, and there's nothing you can do about it. I can't freaking emphasize how much hypocrisy I've seen from Steeler fans over the years. Oh, you guys are dirty. We're the victims of everything. I feel like other fan bases that are not the Bengals and the Ravens or the Browns, I feel like they can notice that about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Little smug ass. You guys make claims about like respect and everything. Like, this team deserves our respect. This fan base deserves our respect. Like, I see Steelers fans sometimes team up with Raven fans. Of course, they hate the Ravens, but it's like, I would say Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they deserve less respect than Bengals fans. And as much as I can't stand the Browns and their fan base, I can't stand the Browns fan base one bit. I would argue they deserve more respect. I would definitely argue, and it's not even an argument. I think it's a fact. They deserve more respect. You know why? Because they've endured more losing than you. What have you as a fan gone through? And like I said, I don't get on them for complaining. One other thing I want to talk about Steeler fans, they bag on the Bengals, Browns, Ravens even. I mean, Ravens have held their own, so I won't get into them. But Bengals and Browns, they've won a combined 0 Super Bowls. As you guys always like to say, Bengals, we've been to the Super Bowl 3 times. Browns never have. And you guys like pile on us. Oh, we did this to you. You're like beating a dead horse. If we're so insignificant to you, then why do you flex beating us all the time? Why do you brag in our faces? You're beating a dead horse at the end of the day. Why does beating us mean so much to you? Are we that rent-free in your head? I freaking hate this fan base. I hate the team. I don't respect them one bit. I respect some guys on their team, like their football team, like right now. But the franchise, hell no. The organization, hell no. I don't care if they won 6. They've not done it the right way. Steroid era, they won 4. They injured Carson Palmer in 2005. 2008, Tom Brady was out in ACL injury. You've won 2 Super Bowls since 1975 or whatever it is, and you want to come on here and talk like you're a dynasty or like a continuously proud, consistently good franchise? Sure, you've been to 8 Super Bowls, whatever. There's also been a lot of mediocrity over the years. Let's not act like you haven't had your down years. You make fun of our playoff drought, 31 years. But what about the playoff drought from, 1935 to 1970? How many years was that? 35. But Steeler fans won't tell you that, oh, we weren't around at the time. But it still happened. It still exists. Were you around in 1991? Were you around for the 90s for the Bengals? How would Steeler fans endure the 90s Bengals teams? I truly wonder how. That's what I'm talking about with this team. I hate how they twist things in a way that fits their narrative. That's what they do. They complain about other teams. They complain about, oh, but this team has this. Nobody has it worse than us. Bullshit, man. Their lows. They talk about their lows. Their lows are 9-8. So it's a lot easier to be loyal, and it's a lot easier to be like waving the towel, singing Renegade or whatever they do in the fourth quarter. Of course, every team has lows, but your lows are 9-8. So you haven't endured enough. I want to see your loyalty truly tested, Steeler fans. Making the playoffs and losing to the Cleveland Browns in COVID, sure, that tested your loyalty, I guess, because you had one, bad game. You still won the division. You have the most AFC North titles. You've seen a lot of winning and glory over the last 20 plus years. So I don't really need to hear your comments about, oh, you should be supporting your team. I get that all the time from Steeler fans. And I get called a fake fan for not being real and whatnot. Like, I'm as real as it gets, guys. And there's nothing wrong with criticizing your team or picking them to lose. A lot of these hypocrites out there, they talk about picking against the Bengals, picking against this team, that team. I don't care. I will pick against them if I think they're going to lose, period. The Bengals bow down to the Steelers most of the time, and I freaking hate that. We have a chance to win 2 in a row with the Steelers, and you know what? We're probably not going to take advantage of it. Or at least we're not going to even do something about it. The Steelers are going to come into our house. Not only the fans are going to take over, but the team is going to probably kick our ass. And that's what I hate. And I hate it. I hate losing to the damn Steelers. Oh my God, that's going to be an invasion tomorrow, and I'm dreading that. That white Bengal, you're going to see Steeler fans stand out plenty. And I hate that. I'm going in. I'm going to enjoy the game. You know why? Because I have no expectations. When you don't have expectations, nothing can go wrong. So they got Rodgers. Obviously, they look good. They've got DK Metcalf had a great game last week, by the way. I think Calvin Austin's out. I think they still need a wide receiver, to be honest. I think they're still a receiver away. Their team as a whole looks a lot better. And I used to like Rodgers. But, of course, you know where he goes? The Pittsburgh Steelers. They get everybody, man, and everything just goes right for them, other than the playoffs over the last 8 years. Whoop-de-doo, bro. Our drought was 31 years. Our fans had to endure that. So just because your team is good, that means your fans deserve respect? Your fans deserve less respect, as I said. So enjoy Rodgers, I guess. I don't see how the Steelers don't win the AFC North. I mean, Baltimore is falling really behind right now, and I don't see us doing anything. Obviously, Cleveland is not having a great start either. I just don't see any team catching up to the Steelers. So they'll get a home playoff game. Maybe they can snap that drought. I don't know. Going into this game, man, I have no expectations whatsoever, other than just having Steeler fans in Baycor Stadium. I really hope Bengals fans didn't sell their tickets to Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't blame them if they did. I mean, an offer is an offer. Bengals have no one to blame but themselves. So that's what it is. I'm frustrated as a fan, but fuck the Steelers, man. I can't stand them. Fuck their fans. Fuck their organization. Fuck everything to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fuck their stupid towels, too. Fuck the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fuck them, fuck them. And all the shit they do to warrant that type of hate, it's all there. Fuck the Steelers. But Bengals, you have a chance to get a win on Thursday night. I don't know how you're going to respond. I hope it goes well. I'm tired of losing, man. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say, man. I wanted to just come on here, ramble. Bengals, I don't know what to even say, but it's a dark time to be a Bengals fan. That's all I can say right now. You guys have a good one. As this is coming out, it's probably going to be Thursday. So obviously tonight is the game. When you see this video, right now it's Wednesday evening as I speak. But beating the Steelers is always great. So let's see what they do. You guys have a good one.